What is it really like to live in the Orlando, Florida area? I can tell you right now, we're not talking about Disney and Universal today. Stick around, we're coming right back. What's up everybody, Don Sprenkel here, your Central Florida specialist. We're living in Orlando, Florida, and today we're just going to talk a little bit about what's it really like living in Orlando. Now everybody knows that we have some famous theme parks in town. We're not that far away from the beach. We know it's hot. You've heard me talk about these things in other videos, but I kind of want to highlight some other things about what it's like living here in Orlando. So just to give you a better overall in-depth view of what it's like to be a resident here. If you haven't heard me say before in other videos, I'm a lifelong Florida resident. Aside from about 3.5 years that I spent out of state in college playing football, I've lived my whole life in Florida. Originally from South Florida. I've lived in the Daytona area near the beach. I've here for the last almost 10 years in the Orlando area. I don't really have like a list per se. I know a lot of times I'll do like a top 5, top 10, top 12 type of list, but I just made some bullet points here that I'm going to run through. I'm going to go through some of these things and talk about them just to give you guys a little bit better insight. Really quickly though, before we dive into that, if this is your first time to our channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Do us a favor, but do yourself a favor, smash that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the awesome information packed videos we're putting out to you guys on a weekly basis. My team and I are working with people from around the entire country who are relocating here every single day. We absolutely love it, but you got to give us a call. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, however you'd like to communicate, we got your back. All right, so the first thing I said is that we're not going to talk about some of these big theme parks that are right down the road, but we are going to talk about some other places of interest that are maybe a little, they're tourist attractions, but I think they're more low-key and not quite as well-known, nationally known or internationally known like some of the theme parks that we have here. So I'm going to run through some of these things for you. Number one is Fun Spot. We got 2 locations in the area. One of them is right near down in Kissimmee. Another one is closer to I-Drive. And if you have never been to this place, it's a really cool place. It's got roller coasters. It's got a lot of like fair type rides, but it's got a lot of different just fun activities at a much cheaper expense and cost than some of those big theme parks. I think the tickets right now for some of those big theme parks is like $119, $120, $135, something like that. Some other really cool places that we have in and around the Orlando area is Topgolf. We've got 2 locations as well. They have one near International Drive, closer to like the central Orlando area, but then we also just built a new one that opened up this past year in the Lake Mary area. The Topgolf is a lot of fun. I've been there many times with friends and family. If you're not into golfing, if you're not good at golfing, that's okay. It's a driving range, so you're just whacking golf balls as far and as hard as you can. There's some different games that you can play when you're there with your friends and family. And again, like I said, if you're not good at golf, that's okay. I'm horrible at golf. I'm terrible. Right across the street actually from the Topgolf on I-Drive is Mario Andretti's go-kart racing, and that's a ton of fun as well. Don't ask me how fast they go. I do know that they will throttle you down. I heard that at least, not that I know from personal experience, but yeah, it's a good time, a lot of fun, and it's another activity that doesn't involve the theme parks. If you are looking for some theme park action, but maybe want to take a break from some of those normal stuff like the Disney and the Universal Studios, Legoland is a great option for, especially if you've got kids, as well as SeaWorld. SeaWorld might be low-key my undercover favorite when it comes to all the places in Orlando. And since we're talking about all the fun things to do in one of the world's largest, most popular tourist destinations in the entire world, I think it's also worth mentioning that tourism is not the only leading industry in the Orlando area. The Orlando area is one of the leading cities in technology industries such as advanced manufacturing, biotech, and aerospace. Both Siemens and Lockheed Martin have large regional offices here and are some of the largest employers. Some other well-known nationally and internationally known companies that call Orlando home include SunTrust Bank, Marriott International, EA Sports, AAA, and I almost forgot to mention golfing. We've got golfing. We've got a ton of it. We've got, I think last time I looked, it was like over 22, 23 public golf courses throughout the area. There's a ton of great ones. I'm not a huge golfer. If you heard me talk about Topgolf, I don't pretend to be a golf pro or anything like that, but I know that Bay Hill, Champions Gate, Aliqua Lakes. There's a lot of good golfing over in the Lake Nona area as well. Just a lot of really cool golf courses, and some of them nationally known, and that have had professionals come and play on them as well. A really cool golf course that I like is in Winter Park. It's near the Park Avenue area. It's only 9 holes. It's a public course, but it is surrounded by that Winter Park neighborhood there. So it's just a really cool environment, atmosphere. It's one of the oldest golf courses, I think, in the entire state, definitely in the Orlando area. Since we're talking about golfing, since we're talking about being outdoors, I would be remiss if I did not talk about all the great walking trails, hiking trails, and biking trails around the Orlando area. Just to name a few, if you're into biking, for example, the West Orange Trail out near Winter Garden, that borders along Orange County and Lake County, that is a great area for biking. There's also a lot of great trails in the Longwood area, the Seminole Trail that goes all through Longwood up into Lake Mary. I mean, you can walk for miles in that thing. Winter Springs, Tuscaloosa is another great area for biking and for hiking, walking trails. There's actually 15 state parks in and around the Orlando area, so plenty of outdoor activities if that's what you're into. We've talked about some of the things that you can do for fun, for recreation, but let's talk about where to live. All right, the Orlando metro area is a huge area to cover, and there's a ton of great neighborhoods. Now, Florida is a transit state. Orlando is kind of like Grand Central Station, and a lot of people coming and going, and that might make some people worried, you know, always constantly having visitors, people in and out of the Orlando area. But I can tell you right now is I've lived in a few different places in Florida, and I've never felt safer than living in the Orlando area than where I live now. When it comes to different neighborhoods in the Orlando metro, there's neighborhoods for all different types of price points. You know, there's a lot of great neighborhoods with homes that are at the average or even below the average median price point. It's really just about knowing where to look. You've got construction from all different time periods. You've got a lot of early 20th century construction. The closer you get to downtown, into some of the neighboring neighborhoods like Winter Park, Longwood, but then you've also got a lot of newer construction and a lot of up and coming developments as well in places like Winter Garden, Lake Nona, Baldwin Park. If you haven't seen that one, definitely check that out. That's in the top 5 that best neighborhoods video that I've done. You can click on that link right above here for that one. There's great schools to choose from in nearly every single area. There's a lot of communities that I have found too that have no HOA or a very nominal, very small fee. Some of them are even optional. But I don't think I've ever really seen a wider array of neighborhoods and communities that really just fits the needs of each person coming here. There's something for everybody, I guess, is what I'm saying with that. And if you're moving down to this area, whatever area you're moving into, I encourage you to join some of the local Facebook groups. There's a ton of them some of them have a lot of good information just about different community events going on, and a lot of things just to keep you in the know. When it comes to safety, and is Orlando safe? You know, I think I've done some videos on that before. I think any city, any metro area is going to have some areas within there that, you know, maybe aren't as desirable or as great to be in compared to some other areas. I think that is completely unavoidable no matter where you're going to live. What I can tell you though is that I've lived in different areas in Florida, in different parts of Florida. I've never felt safer anywhere else than where I do here in Orlando. We've got a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different countries that come to this area, Florida in general, but Orlando especially, and I think it makes for a great mix because you have so many people from so many different backgrounds, and when we all get along and we all, you know, respect those differences, it can make for one heck of a community, and that's what I see here in Orlando. The last thing that I want to touch on about what it's really like to live here in the Orlando area, and I think I should mention to you guys, is that, you know, we're the hub of Florida. We're pretty much like right in the state, so you're an hour or less away from either beach near the Atlantic Ocean or even the Gulf Coast. You're probably 2 hours or less away from Georgia if you want to travel north, and you're about 3 hours away from Miami if you want to head south. We're the most visited destination in the entire world. So if you're into indoor activities, if you're into outdoor activities, there is something for everyone here, literally. If there's anything that you think I missed or that is worth mentioning, if there's questions that you have on any things that we talked about today, need some further clarification, drop something in the comments, send us a message, but you got to reach out to us. My team and I were working with people every single day who are relocating here to the Orlando metro area. We absolutely love it, but you got to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, however you like to communicate. We got your back. Until next time, I'm Don Sprenkel. We're living in Orlando, Florida, and we'll catch you later.